defense.
Lawyer denied by R.J. Blakeney. The 6'6" redshirt sophomore. There's the size at the guard spot as up high and down. Defensive end.
Even at Power 5s, that can be rare, right? Because you'll have guards that are a little undersized, and some of the big...
Goodyear, Arizona, 4th in the A-10 this season with 18 points. Sophomore season so far, Sam, he's really started to get into some of a rhythm of sorts over the last couple of games.
Yeah, 55% over his last 7. His nose for the basket really powered them to victory against Fordham, especially in the second half. His mid-range game is coming along, and when the paint is cramped, somebody like Des Watson is a good antidote.
14-8 lead for the Flyers, and make it 16-8. Point attempt. 7 minutes in. A-10 collision here to close out the calendar year. 16-8 Dayton. A bit short-handed without 2 regular players, 2 starters, Kobe Elvis and Malachi Smith, and it's transfer with his first field goal.
A little half spin to create the separation on Holmes, evade the long reach of him. Good little floater from Skogman. He's, as we talked about, gotten a lot more comfortable the last few games.
DaRon Holmes II explodes up. Also, he's got quite the resume. So it's probably got 2 pages. Your resume is supposed to have 1 page. Points of the game for the Wildcats as Huffman through some chaos. Tapped out. Blakeney secures for Dayton. Kobe Brea swings it to DaRon Holmes II. Now R.J. Blakeney. Great hands from Lawyer. DaRon Holmes II goes up and finishes. Just sent from the floor. His last 5 games, 22%. But certainly getting to the free throw line will probably help him mentally get back into that shooting rhythm.
It will, and he's dealt with some adversity. Got banged up pretty badly against Purdue. Had a black eye in that game. Against Northeastern, went through his ups and downs. And against Fordham, there was so much emphasis on taking him away. So other guys have really had to step up for Davidson. That's been the blessing in disguise from it.
DaRon Holmes II defending without fouling. Dayton has 18 fouls to Davidson's 5.
It's been an incredibly physical game, as one may have expected coming in. I think the less soft whistle benefits Davidson because they can bang with Holmes a little bit, force him off the spot.
R.J. Blakeney has the ball right now. Scoreless in the game. He's only taken 1 shot. DaRon Holmes II explodes up.
Ball on the perimeter, and it makes sense. It's his natural position. With Holmes on the floor, he's just drawn so much attention. Every time the Cats remotely lose sight of Brea, he's ready to fire, and his release is quickened from last year, so he's pretty much unstoppable when he gets that much airspace.
10 on the shot clock for the Flyers. Wokeji in a hurry. 6 to shoot. DaRon Holmes II, baseline jumper, he can't miss! To sign with Dayton. As we mentioned earlier, Scouts 4th in the league this season, so no sophomore slump. 4th in the A-10 in scoring, and despite 22 points, he's missed 3 free throws. And in a game like this, that is massive. He hits the
contact and steals some stuff at the charity stripe.
Holmes II hits the second half. And DaRon Holmes, 3rd board for Mongolian Mike.
It's a pin down. Lawyer comes off it wide open, just unable to drill it. That was a big possession for Davidson, just to move it back within 1 possession.
Dayton looking for their first field goal here in the second half. 0 of 12. DaRon Holmes II, guarded by David Skogman. 5 on the timer. Holmes II pivots, spins, somehow carves his way. Only 8 turnovers total for these 2 teams.
Watson drew the double, streaking downhill, had Skogman weak side, put a little too much mustard on the pass, though.
DaRon Holmes II, 27 points, goes up and flushes it down. Lawyer thought about the 3 instead, takes it to the rack, and tough angle off the side of the backboard. Some missed opportunities for Davidson. They have scored in 3.5 minutes. It was once 47 all. Now it's 58-50. Flyers in front. DaRon Holmes II eyes the timer. In no hurry whatsoever. 5 on the shot clock. Holmes II, that's just too easy. Jones, and it's very early. Still just the second game in the A-10 as DaRon Holmes II hits